What up, everybody? Counterpunch Pod. We're back for the first time in a minute. Ready to break down UFC 311. If you're new to these, my name's Lucas. His name's Rohan. It's been a minute. Last card we broke down, I believe, was UFC 310. That was over a month ago. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
We didn't do last week because I had a whole bunch of shit going on. But we're back. Live stream. Already got some people in here. Looking forward to an absolute banger card. A card that Rohan should be going to because he's in
I
LA.
was gonna say, man. I mean, this is the first time we're completely different sides of the country right now. I'm in LA, and of course, I mean, I wanted to go to that card so bad. I was gonna ask my parents for Christmas, but man, the prices just have not gone down. Still, from what I'm seeing, they're still upwards of $550 just to get in. And I mean, I get it because it's the Intuit Dome and it's a big venue, nice venue. But man, I wish I was gonna be there. My boy is gonna be there, so that'll be cool. But hey, man, I'm excited. This card is so early, and I mean, this is the first pay-per-view of the year. But I don't really feel crazy to say that this could be top 3 cards of the year, just top to bottom. Looking at it already, they don't stack them like this. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So many banger fights on this card. Yeah, dude. When I was looking at the tickets for UFC 311 because I was considering coming, they were starting at 700, and this was before the wildfires, and I think the wildfires but the prices are still fucking ridiculous. But yeah, we're here, talk UFC 311, bunch of banger fights. I want to just get right into it. I know, Rohan, you got to go somewhere, so we'll try to get done as soon as possible. If you got to go, I'll just wrap it up. Let's get it going. We got some people in the chat. My boy Tate, moderator Theo. Good to see everybody here. Let's have a good stream. All right, share my screen and we're ready to go. Can you see? We good?
Yes, sir. Let's
go. First fight on the card: Tagir Ulanbekov versus Clayton Carpenter. You know, Rohan, usually I don't take bets at chalk, but when I saw this line drop, I think it was Ulanbekov -2 something. Dude, I bet it. He's up to -300 something now. It's grappler versus grappler, and Tagir's the better grappler. I mean, Clayton, he's not that impressive in my opinion. You got a guy, he beat Lucas Rocha in his last fight, who's just not good. Submitted Juan Camilo Ronderos, not good. Beat Edgar Chires in a close fight. Good job. I mean, this is just a massive step up in competition. Tagir's been fighting ranked guys for a minute now. Fought Cody Durden, fought Nate Maness, who's, whatever, a flyweight, that's okay. Lost to Tim Elliott in a fight that, Jesus fucking Christ, he got fucked over. Tim Elliott cheated so many times.
I know, I remember that one.
Alan Nascimento, pretty impressive. Beat Bruno Silva, pretty impressive. He's got some good wins. In a fight that's going to be a grappling match, I mean, give me the Dagestani. I'm not just saying it because he's a Dagestani. This guy is really good, really high level. That win against Cody Durden, I mean, dude, this guy barely fights. It's ridiculous. But that win against Durden was super impressive. Took the back, submitted him. And Cody Durden doesn't like to tap, I'll tell you that. I think Tagir gets this one done. I don't know if he finishes him. Clayton is tough as fuck, but Tagir's winning this fight.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on just the line there. I mean, I think that the dropping, I get it because Clayton Carpenter, like you said, he's a very tough guy, very, very tough guy. But it's a big step up when you're talking about Tagir, somebody that, I mean, he implements the same game plan against everybody pretty much. And like you said, his wrestling is just top tier. When he gets you down, he's able to hold you down. He's able to chain grapple to maintain dominant positions. And then he threatens with submissions. He's not always getting it, but he's always kind of, you know that the threat is there because he's very versatile on the ground, very good jiu-jitsu. I think if this fight, if Clayton Carpenter is able to, stuff a few takedowns early, that might do some good for his confidence. But even late, Tagir is somebody that even later in the fight, you can count on him to take the fight down and just be smart in there. He's one of those guys that is pretty smart and pretty within himself. So I like him to win this fight as well. I don't think Carpenter has too much to offer on the feet, so I don't think he can knock him out. So I think Tagir is pretty comfortable. I'm picking him as well.
Yeah, sorry about that. Let me go on Do Not Disturb here. I'm gonna agree with you. I mean, these Dagestanis, they just train so fucking hard.
Bro. I just saw an embedded episode with it was Ode Osborne training with Habib's gym, and he was just like, man, these guys are different. I mean, they're just all just the top of the game. I'm like, yeah, bro, that's why you'll never be there. But nah, it is different. So.
Yeah, I think that's a good fight for Tagir. I think he's fought better guys. I think he gets this one done. Let's move on. Next fight on the card, we've got Ricky Turcios versus Bernardo Sopai. I'm going Sopai. Sopai made his debut against Vinicius Oliveira. He was winning that fight and then just gassed out because he stepped in on like 4 days' notice and got viciously knocked out. But yeah, this is a big step down in competition. He also has a full camp here, and Ricky Tercios just isn't that good. Got submitted by Raul in his last fight. No shame in that. Beat Kevin Navadad by split, who sucks. Lost to Ayman Zahabi by decision. He's not bad. I think he was supposed to have a ranked fight and it got canceled. Beat Brady Heastand. He's beaten some all right guys. I mean, he's nothing special. He punches air. He's just all he really has is cardio. That's it. I think Sopai has a full camp here. I think that's big, and he's just the more talented guy, better in every single position, and hopefully cardio's not a problem with the full camp. I think this price tag makes sense. I like Sopai.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I think Bernardo Sopai is just a much cleaner fighter. If you just go look at, obviously, you can't take anything away from his debut, but if you just go look at him on the regional scene, he's somebody that he takes his time, and he's a pretty decent striker. I like that he switches stances, he's able to fight out of both stances. He's patient. He fights behind his lead hand, and like you said, like Tercios is somebody that he's kind of in there to put on a show. I feel like that's always been his MO. He's in there to try to swing and take your head off or just cause some excitement. And I just don't think that sort of style is going to prevail against somebody like Sopai, who's pretty clean and technical. I think that he has pretty decent defensive wrestling to be able to avoid some of those weird shots of Ricky. And I just don't think that Ricky can do much on the feet. So I like Sopai in this one as well. At that price, I think it's a great piece as well.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's move on to some better fights on this card. We've got Rinya Nakamura versus Muin Gafurov. This is probably the fight on the card that I have thought about the least, maybe outside of this new Guskov matchup. Yeah, I mean Rinya should win, but like the guy, he's not getting any finishes in the UFC. Like I've bet him to get a finish in every single one of these fights, or these two fights, his two UFC fights. And he just hasn't been able to get it. Like he should have subbed Fernie Garcia. He had him in like deep arm bars, couldn't get him. He beat Carlos Vera, who sucks by decision. I mean, that was a whatever fight. I mean, I just don't know if he'll be able to finish Muin Gafurov. I mean, Muin got subbed by Said Nurmagomedov, but Said that's what he's known for, that guillotine choke. Came back, had a good win against Kyung Ho Kang. I don't know. I mean, yeah, Rinya should win. There's a reason he's a big favorite. I just think this is the line is kind of off for a guy that's not finishing fights. He's talented, but Muin Gafurov, has his takedown defense really been tested? Not that much. I don't know. This fight I'm probably just gonna stay away from. I'll pick Rinya though, just because he's a great wrestler. We'll see though.
Yeah, I think it's pretty. You got to take the safer pick in Rinya Nakamura, but I'm not a fan of Muin Gafurov. I remember his win against Kyung Ho Kang, but I think that's why I feel like I remember some wrestling in that fight on the Kyung Ho Kang side. I feel like he was trying to take him down and had a little bit of success. But again, when you're dealing with somebody like Rinya, he is just that's all he does. He's a pure wrestler, and he's going to try to get you down and hold you down, and he's going to have success when he does. So I think again, he's not finishing this fight, and Muin Gafurov is like savvy enough. He's been around enough to do some damage on the feet and maybe avoid some of these takedowns. But ultimately, over 3 rounds, I'm not picking him to finish Rinya. So I think Rinya's style will win him 2 out of the 3 rounds just based on control. So I'm going to take Rinya.
Simple as that. Yeah, there's some other fights I don't want to talk about much more on this card. This fight doesn't really excite me whatsoever. Let's move on. If Tapology will let me go back, there we go. Carol Hossa versus Aileen Perez. Yeah, I mean, what is this? The only women's fight on the card, but it interests me from
not terrible. Yeah,
I mean, it's a terrible fight, but from a gambling perspective, I'm gonna bet on it because I think Carol Hossa wins. I think Aileen Perez is so bad. She's just fought fighters that are somehow worse than her. How she's on this winning streak, I don't get, but at the same time, I do get. First of all, that loss to Stephanie Egger was horrible. She looked horrible in that fight, but comes back. She beats Ashley Evans Smith, who I think has a under 500 record now. I mean, she is horrible. Lucia Pudilova, horrible. Jocelyn Edwards, that's your girl, Rohan, but she's pretty shit. And then Zelyankova, 0 ground game whatsoever. Here's the thing about Carol Hossa. I mean, she doesn't have the best ground game, but one thing that she does have is she's got amazing cardio. Like she gets better fight goes on and Aileen Perez gasses out big time. I mean, as long as Rosa doesn't get finished in the first half of the fight, which I do not see happening at all, I think she takes over, wins round 3, possibly 10-8 round 3, just beating her up and maybe finds a round 3 finish. I mean, you have somebody that peaks later in the fight versus somebody that gasses out bad. I'm all day, every day on taking Carol Hosan. It's not like Aileen Perez is some sort of finisher. Yes, she finished Zelyankova, but Zelyankova fucking sucks on the ground. I like Rosa here all day.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I mean, look, Carol Rosa, like you said, she's a cardio demon, and she's just, I feel like, fought and beaten the better competition over her career. Penny Kianzad, like, again, they're fighting kind of the same tier, but just she's looked better in her wins, less split decisions, more clear victories. And her style, I mean, like, she's a brute. Like, she just walks forward, she throws punches, from her eyes. Like, she's not gonna shy away from anything. But ultimately, she just does not back down throughout the entire 15 minutes. And again, Aileen Perez is somebody that I feel like she's not really impressed me at all with her striking and her wrestling. I mean, her offensive wrestling is actually not bad, but it's her defensive wrestling that is horrible. I mean, we saw that in the Jocelyn Edwards fight. It was like one that's taking down the other back to back because they both couldn't defend takedowns. And I think that's going to be bad for her as this fight goes on. I think Carol Rose is going to be better on the feet. She's going to have the opportunity to take her down, and definitely will win this one. So I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking forward to this one because I think Rosa. This is.
Yeah. What's the line again?
She's like -230.
Oh yeah, that's great. I like that.
Next fight on the card: Zach Reese versus Azamat Bekoev. At first, Reese was supposed to take on Cedric Dumas. I would have took Reese there probably, but this fight, I mean, give me Bekoev all day. Zach Reese is probably the biggest fraud in the UFC. I mean, these 2 wins. Julian Marquez, I mean, he's so bad at this stage of his career, and Jose Medina is the worst fighter in the UFC. And I honestly thought they were going to make Zach Reese the favorite in this fight, considering Bekoev coming in on like 5 days' notice, UFC debutant. But no, the odds makers know that Zach Reese is an absolute fraud. And I already put a bet in on Bekoev, like -192. I think he's still sitting around there somewhere, but yeah, this should be him all day, every day. Zach Reese is so bad. Horrible striking defense, horrible boxing. I mean, his striking is horrible. He just has power. There's no technicality. Leaves his chin up in the air. He's got a solid guard. That's it. This guy sucks. Bekoev is good. Bekoev is going to come forward and he's going to knock Zach Reese out. I'm very confident in that. Even though he's stepping in on short notice, it's not like Zach Reese is some sort of cardio monster if this fight somehow gets to the later rounds. He does have a 5-inch height and reach advantage. I don't think it matters. I think Bekoev gets in the pocket, finds that right hand. He had a vicious knockout in his last fight against Chauncey Foxworth. He was vicious. And he had some good fights in LFA. It's not like he's fighting cans like Dylan Budka, although he's not had success. He's he beat him there. Lucas Fernando fought him, beat him. He was on the Contender Series. Give me Bekoev all day. Zach Reese is a fraud. I wish I had a better number, but I don't. But I'm still gonna bet him because I think he should be -400 here, really.
Yeah, I was excited for that Cedric and Zachary fight just for the memes.
You were excited.
Just for the memes, because Cedric is just a walk-in meme, man. He's so funny. But I do think that this matchup change does not favor Zach Reese. I mean, again, there's not much more to add about Zach Reese. He's just a very underwhelming fighter in all aspects. Like, his wrestling is whatever. His striking is very bad. Like, he leaves, like you said, terrible striking defense. I guess that Julian Marquez knockout was cool, but it's Julian Marquez #1, and that just seemed to fool people a little bit. I agree with you that he's a little overrated. I mean, there's nothing really about him that stands out. And Azamat Bekoev, even on short notice, I just think that he's cleaner everywhere. He's got more reliable boxing. He's got more reliable footwork. He just is smarter. He takes less risks. Like, even coming in on short notice, you trust him to just be who he is, and who he is as a fighter is just a more technical guy than somebody like Zach Reese, who's always relying on just these random, moments. So I do not think that Zach Reese is built for this, and I think that Bekoev to win. I like that as well.
Yeah, for folks that are new, because we've been away for like a month, Rohan and I agree a lot, like we do, because we watch the same tape and we think the same way. So
I mean, but look, I mean, where is anybody sticking out right now?
we're,
Other than
listen, we're agreeing with things, and that actually may change the farther we get down the card.
yeah, I mean, this as the card goes on, I think there's a lot harder matchups to call, and I will disagree more. But as of right now, I mean, the only other one that I was having a little bit of tougher time with was Rinya Nakamura. But other than that, I mean, I'm pretty confident in all these picks. So,
and the thing is, the reason why we agree so much is we watch so much tape, and we just know.
Yeah, this is coming from a place of knowledge. Like we watch so much that we've been exposed to these guys, and most of the time, I feel like we're right. It's when we go on those, risks and just take those random shots that we sometimes mess up. But that's just a part of it. Predicting you're going to get some right or wrong. But honestly, I mean, in the UFC, when guys are on clear trajectories, a lot of the time, it makes the pick a little easier. And yeah, I think it's going to get a little tougher as we move up the card for sure.
Yeah, agreed. Let's move on. Next fight on the card, we have.
This is a tough one.
Grant Dawson versus Diego Ferreira. I mean, this is honestly a 50-50 fight in my eyes. And whenever I see a 50-50 fight, I'm going to take the underdog. I took a dog shot. I gave it out to the Discord about a month and a half ago, maybe a month ago. I mean, this line is ridiculous. I'm curious where it is now. If you don't mind me checking real quick. We are sitting at Grant Dawson minus 255 to Diego Ferreira at plus 210. And I got it at, let me see. I got it at, I'm not there yet. Sorry. Plus 240. So we beat the line. Have 3/4 of a unit on it. Not a big bet whatsoever. But yeah, I just feel like the line is insane. I mean, Grant Dawson has come back, and who's he beat? Joe Selecki and Rafa Garcia. Those are fighters that are getting nowhere near the rankings. Yes, Diego Ferreira is 40, but he has looked good at 40. Knocked out Michael Johnson viciously, and then had a great win. That's probably one of his best wins in his career, beating Mateusz Rebecki. That was a beautiful win. He had some losses. He lost to Gamrot. No shame in that. He lost to Gregor Gillespie. In his prime, there's no shame in that at all. Split decision against Dariush. No shame in that. And Dariush's prime, again, someone we'll talk about later, he was very, very good. He even at 40 years old, Ferreira has looked really good. It's his birthday today, apparently. Happy birthday to Diego Ferreira. Yeah, I think he wins. I mean, Grant Dawson, the chin, I don't know where the fuck the chin is. Ferreira clearly has some power if he's putting guys out like that. Yeah, I just don't see any notable wins here from Dawson, and I think that this line is so fucking wrong. I like Diego Ferreira here. Give me the dog, and I'll play the point spread as well. I think that's a great bet.
I can see where you're coming from for sure. I definitely would agree that the line is a little bit wide. Minus 255 is a little bit much, but at the same time, I'm a fan of fighters that just know what they're good at. They immediately get to what they're good at, and I mean, it works for them. And that's Grant Dawson to a T. I mean, that's what he does to everybody. It's not like I definitely understand what you're saying about the level of competition. It's not like he's beaten a lot of notable names. When he did fight in a main event against Bobby Green, somebody who is similar to Diego Ferreira in age and style, he got, fraud checked and knocked out. But I also think he got caught with a very clean shot right on the button. And I don't know how to judge his chin entirely to be able to feel so worried about him in this matchup against another guy that's 39 years old. Again, he's looked great for his age. Diego Ferreira, do not get me wrong. That win over Rebecki, I was shocked. I did not think that he would knock him out like that. And he did it before against Michael Johnson, right? He knocked him out as well. So, I mean, again, those are two guys that are willing to stand and trade with you. That's their style. Rebecki is somebody that's going to fucking throw bombs at you. Michael Johnson's a striker. So Grant Dawson, I mean, he knows he's going to have a big size advantage in this fight. He knows that he's at a huge grappling and wrestling advantage, And I just think that overall, it's just 3 rounds. I trust him not to get caught with a big shot, just to stick to his game plan and do what he does best and wrestle, hug his ass, not threaten with any submissions or ground and pound, just hug his ass for 2 out of the 3 rounds. But I definitely see where you're coming with the odds, but I'm going to take Grant Dawson money line.
Take his money line. You're gonna
put
money on him?
I might not bet it, but I think it might
That's
not
horrible.
be. I think honestly, I can see that where you're coming. It's a close because Diego's a veteran. He might be able to stuff some takedowns, but ultimately, I think the size, the youth, all that will prevail. But hey, it could be a good fight. We'll see.
I mean, Mateusz Rebecki is one of the most physically strong fighters at 155, and Ferreira.
True.
And Rebecca looked good in his last fight against
He's not that much of a like a chain wrestler, like somebody that knows how to advance positions, even on the fence and stuff like that. Like he'll get into a clinch with you and just not move for 5 seconds, like or 2 minutes. Grant Dawson is not doing that. Like he's always looking to actually get you down and put pressure on you. I think that'll wear on him over the fight. But again, we don't know where his chin is, and Diego has hella power, so it could be a knockout. I would not be shocked if he knocked him out in the first round. So we'll see.
I mean, look at I don't know what the fuck happened in that Bobby Green fight.
I don't know.
It had to have been like the worst weight cut ever because we've seen this guy get punched in the face before. We know Bobby Green doesn't have some deadly power. He got hit by a jab and went unconscious.
Yeah, it was. I think it was just one of those shots. It just landed perfectly on the button, and he just went down. But I mean, if his chin is a question mark in this one, Diego definitely has the chance to expose it. But we'll see.
I mean, your chin's not gonna just get better.
I mean, he hasn't really, faced somebody that has that much power since the Green fight, and it's not like you say Bobby doesn't have crazy power, but I feel like he's had enough time to kind of recover a little bit, and he knows, he's aware of that now. Like that's his only loss or one of his only 2 losses. I mean, this guy he's good at what he does, and I just trust him to stick to the game plan and wrestle, just wrestle.
Yeah, I think Ferrer will sneak it out, and I like the point spread as big bets because I think this is a very close fight. Yeah, let's move on.
Oh, we lost him. I know he does this often. He clicked the wrong tab and then closed himself out of Tapology. But the next fight on the card,
I always do that, bro. Every time I thought it was on the page and I clicked back.
I was just telling you, it's all good. It's Bogdan.
No, I got it.
Billy Alekina.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm gonna keep it a buck with everybody. I have done no tape on Alekina yet. I have no idea what to expect here. I'm gonna pick Guskov on the fact that Alekina is stepping in on like 3 days' notice. I don't know enough. I don't know if you've done tape on this. This is the only fight on the entire card I've done no tape on it. I had a big bet on Guskov against Johnny Walker, a big one. I thought he was going to spark him round 1. I thought that was a perfect matchup for Guskov. I am pissed that fight got canceled. But all I know is that Guskov's a big favorite here, and I don't think Guskov is an amazing fighter. I mean, he comes forward, he hits you with power. I mean, he hasn't beat amazing guys. He beat Ryan Spann, who gasses out after 1 round. Congrats. He beat Zach Pauga, who's horrible. He lost to Uzdemir by sub. I mean, I don't have the best read on this guy, but I thought he was going to knock out Johnny Walker because he has 0 chin. This fight, I don't know enough about Alekina. Do you?
Look, I did a little bit of tape on him, and all I can say is I don't think his style matches up against Bogdan Guskov in the sense that Bogdan, he's another brute. Like he throws fucking huge overhands. He comes forward. He looks to just put pressure and wear on you. And this guy, Belly Alekina, from what I see, he's a patient guy. He's somebody that throws, 1 shot at a time. He doesn't have the best knockout power. Like I really don't see him testing Bogdan's chin in this one. And over 3 rounds, like Bogdan is just such a 3-round veteran, and that he knows how to get the job done. Like he's had so many split decision wins where he just ekes it out, and I could see that again here. But honestly, I just think that he'll overwhelm him with the sheer volume because Billy Alekina does not throw enough for me.
You there? Hello?
I'm there. You hear me?
Yeah, you froze for a second.
I said, yeah. I don't know if I cut out, but I just said Bogdan. I trust him to win this one. I don't think Billy Alekina's volume is there to match him. So I got Bogdan.
Yeah, honestly, guys, I don't know about Rohan, but I wouldn't trust what I'm saying here. I'll pick Guskov, but I got to do more research on this fight. So for us, I guess this is just a skip. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, sorry. This is the only one. You're just going to get a lack of insight. I have a lot of insight on this one. Jailton Almeida versus Sergey Spivak. Probably one of my biggest money line bets of all time is on this fight, like ever. I hammered about a month ago Jailton Almeida at minus 250. I think I have close to $2,000 on him alone. Wow. This is just a perfect matchup for Almeida. I mean, he's the better grappler. He's a better wrestler. He's just going to take down Spivak. Spivak's going to get tired, and I just don't see a world. It's not like Spivak has great striking. I just don't see any path to victory for Spivak. When I'm betting on a fight, I want to know who's got paths to victory. Why I bet Diego Ferreira in this fight against who's he fucking fighting? Grant Dawson, because I think he can knock this guy out, and I think that line is huge. This Almeida opened minus 250. I hammered it. He's up to minus 450 now, and I did that. And the reason the line moved so much was because where's the path to victory here for Spivak? Do you know, Rohan?
Look, I will say, like, I gotta give Spivak credit because I think he's improved a lot since like the start of his career. Like he's improved and he looked better in that Tybura fight, the last one. Like he
did he though?
He looked like the better fighter. I mean, honestly.
Oh, he did. And he was getting ragdolled and then pulled up a fucking arm bar and blew.
Look, but he got the job done, and that's not something that we would have thought he could do. Is get a submission off of his back or anything like that. Like this guy is somebody like. Look, I'm with you that this is a perfect stylistic matchup for Jailton. Because of the athleticism, but this is an athletic. What am I called? What's the word I'm looking for?
Spit it out, buddy.
He just relies on the athleticism way too much. Like he doesn't have striking at all. Jailton Almeida is not knocking anybody out. I don't care who he is, not Spivak, not Tybura, not anybody. He's not knocking him out. He's going to hug you and sniff you until he can just hold you and get you down. Like that's the path to victory, which is not to discredit him because he's really good at that. And this is somebody he could do that against. But I'm just saying, like, I don't think Jailton Almeida, I'm very low on Jailton Almeida. I picked Curtis Blades to beat his ass. And I think that Spivak has a shot. If you're telling me he can survive and stuff some of those early takedowns, just keep it standing. Like Jailton he's an idiot on the feet. Like I don't even know what he does on the feet. I'm not a fan of this guy. I mean, people were calling him a future champ. People were all over him as the next big heavyweight thing. You know,
why don't you like Almeida? What do you do?
He's not good. He just doesn't do anything to impress me. He doesn't do anything
good.
Look, in the heavyweight division where I feel like it's an underwhelming division to start, right? You got guys like Aspinall and Jones at the top, but there's a huge fall off in talent. This guy was projected to be somebody that was going to bridge that gap.
No, he lost one time because he had one.
But in his wins, he has not looked impressive. He laid on a 40-year-old Derek Lewis.
In his last fight, he looked incredible.
Bro, Jairzinho Rosenstrike, he looked mid. Derek Lewis, it was a mid. He looked horrible in that.
How did he look mid against Rosenstrike? He submitted him like instantly.
Bro, Rosenstrike has zero wrestling anyway.
He had one bad fight against Derek Lewis. One bad fight and he dominated.
What do you mean one bad fight? He lost to Curtis Blades. That's two bad fights. And
okay, out of his wins. Out of his wins.
And he beat Alexander Romanov, who's literally the worst athlete in the UFC. Like, what are we talking about?
Like Spivak is like levels.
Spivak is an improved athlete. I'm not picking him in this fight, so I don't know what we're arguing about. But I'm just saying that the hype about Jailton and the line and all that, I think it's off. I really do. I think he could look like.
If the line's off, tell me what's Spivak's path to victory? If the line's off, you tell me.
The same shit that like Curtis Blades did or something. I don't know. I just think he could win over.
You don't even know how.
By decision. By decision. Obviously, it's by decision.
No, like what is he gonna do in the fight to win? That's not what I mean. What is he gonna do in the fight to win? If he has a path to, if the line's off.
If he stuffs a few early takedowns, keeps it standing, jabs him up because he's a better.
Bro, he has no striking.
He's improved striking. He actually didn't even look that bad against. Bro, Jailton has no striking either. So what are you comparing it against?
He didn't look bad against.
What are you comparing it against though?
He didn't look bad against two in the striking.
Bro, against Tybura, the first time or the second time. What, bro? Jailton has no striking. So even if Spivak's striking is bad, like, what do you think Jailton is not hurting him on the feet? So if he can stay,
he's bull rushing him, grabbing his ass, and taking him down and mauling him like he's done to everybody else except Curtis Blades, who's actually a good fighter.
Right. Anyways, I agree that he's gonna win this fight. So I don't know what we're arguing about. I just think that he's overrated.
I think he's minus 1,000 here.
No, like that's what I'm talking about. I think he could look bad. That's what I guess I'm saying. I think there's a shot that he goes in there similar to the Derek Lewis, and like Derek Lewis was 40 years old with zero wrestling. Spivak has at least a little bit of defensive wrestling and a little bit of offensive wrestling too. Like we just threw up a submission in his last fight. Jailton is not even a jiu-jitsu guy. When have we seen him?
Tybura, he threw that submission up and got it because Tybura is just like a fat slob.
But Tybura was known to have.
Almeida is in incredible shape. He is an insane athlete.
Tybura was
fucking subbed off. Spivak isn't subbing fucking.
I know,
Almeida.
but again, he's an athletic merchant. Like he relies on the athleticism. And I guess my grand scheme of things is what I'm trying to say is even if he gets past Spivak, he has no threat to become whatever. I'm picking him to win the fight, but he is not a threat to contend for a heavyweight title anytime soon.
I think he beats John Jones today.
Bro, fuck out of here. What are you talking about? Are you out of your mind?
No,
Bro,
I'm
that
not.
might be the craziest thing I've ever heard.
No, I
Yo,
think he beats John Jones, bro.
yo,
I
all
think.
right, bro, all right, bro.
Why are you
Let's move
acting
on.
like John Jones did not look that good in the fucking Miocic fight? Miocic just looked
Okay,
ancient.
but Jailton Almeida, you think he's bull rushing and just
I
laying on
think
top
he's
of John?
finishing
Bro,
John
get out
Jones.
of here, bro. Get out of here. Let's
Look,
get.
Arturo agrees. He agrees. I
I
think he
don't care about
finishes
that, bro.
round
Move
one.
on, bro. That's
Jailton
crazy.
Almeida. You know what? That's a video idea. Here's why Jailton Almeida would finish John Jones in round one. There you go.
Nah,
Boom.
bro.
Yes, he would. I'm telling you, bro. What
What?
proof has you told me that's not? Yeah,
Nah.
the facts, bro. What do you? John Jones is third, bro. Where's your evidence that Jones is some monster at heavyweight? He Sub-Zero gone. It was 0 takedown defense. He fucking
Bro,
look.
heavyweight is the worst division in the fucking UFC to begin with,
He's a
bro.
grandpa.
So,
I'm telling you, Almeida's someone who's fucking an athletic monster, physical
yeah, but
specimen. He's
that
going in
only
there.
gets you so far. He lost to Curtis Blades. He got like knocked out by Curtis Blades
he was
because
winning every single second of that fight.
take him down. He couldn't take him down because Curtis Blades actually knows how to defend takedowns, and he has zero striking. So what
In
happened?
round one, he was mauling him. He just,
Oh my
was
God.
in on a takedown. He was shooting a takedown, and he got caught with hammer fist. That was a fucking fluke.
I
That was a
just hate
fluke.
the heavyweight division. I guess I'm excited for this fight, but I think Jelton wins. Ultimately, I do think he wins. I think this is a good stylistic matchup. Spivak is not athletic enough, but ultimately, bro, fuck Jelton. That's all I want to say. Fuck him.
Last thing I'm gonna say. Because now I like that literally came to my mind like 2 minutes ago, that John Jones idea, but I stand by that. And let me tell you why. Fucking Almeida is mauling these 265-pound heavyweights. Imagine what he's gonna do to fucking John Jones, who's like 225.
But Lucas, can I explain something? These guys that he's taking down, they're not even aware or athletic enough to like scoot their hips back and like move out of the way or like put their arms out. They just stand there and watch him shoot. That's what they do. John Jones, I'm not lobbying for him to be some fucking world beater at heavyweight, but he's not clueless and he knows what would happen, obviously. So he's smart enough to be able to get out of the way of that. A lot of these heavyweights that you're talking about, these 260-pound guys, they cannot fucking run in a circle. They can't move laterally, bro. So what are they going to do? Just move back and let you take them down, obviously. And it's going to the fence every time. Like, that's the difference. Like, at least Jones has a little bit of athleticism. Aspinall would absolutely kill this fucking dumbass.
I agree. Aspinall would
kill him. What
kill
are we talking about here? Then Jailton Almeida is nothing, bro. Fuck him.
Aspinall would kill Almeida.
Yeah.
But Almeida would destroy John Jones. And Almeida, if we look at the rankings right now, let's look at the rankings. Let's look at the fucking rankings. I'll tell you every single fighter that I think hold on, let me look. So look, we got the heavyweight division. I think he beats John Jones. I think he steamrolls him. I think Almeida fucking mollywops Gone. Demolishes him in round one.
Gone is a fraud. Gone is like maybe even a bigger fraud.
Let me keep going. Volkov, that's probably Volkov and Pavlovich. I think Pavlovich could beat Almeida. I think Volkov, that'll be a close one. I think he beats Blades in a rematch. I really do. I think that fight was a fluke. He got caught with some hammer fists. That's an easy fix. Don't stick your head out when you're shooting a takedown. Simple as that. Spivak, I think he demolishes. Tybura, I think he demolishes. Rosenstrike, I think he already demolished. Lewis, 5 rounds.
But again, these guys are so like after Pavlovich, it just is a big drop off. Like I'm not impressed by any of that. But if he can beat a Pavlovich or a Volkov in his next fight, I'd be impressed. But I don't think that happens, and I'm not picking him until then. So we got to move on, bro, because I got to go soon. So let's move on to Peyton Talbot.
You're right. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next fight.
There's so much left to talk about, bro. Let's move on.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. That was good though. Talbot and Barcelos. Before I get there, we got my celeb friend, my boy Combat IQ. Just so you know, I saw the guy with the hat sell Fent in a kindergarten. He also has an OF. Okay, these are rumors, not true at all. Do not listen to him. Okay, let's move on. Shout out to everybody in here. We have 21 people within the 3 platforms we're streaming on. We appreciate it very much. And if you're watching after the fact, which most of you are, we appreciate you as well. Okay, let's move on to the next fight on the card. Peyton Talbot versus Raoni Barcelos. I mean, there's a reason this line is what it is. It's because Peyton Talbot is going to run through Barcelos. This is a big step up in competition, but I also think it's an incredible stylistic matchup because I think Talbot is better absolutely everywhere. Barcelos, he struggled with Quinones bad. I mean, he almost got knocked out multiple times, and then Quinones, just the biggest idiot ever, got subbed. Peyton Talbot he's so much better than Quinones. I think he's going to finish Barcelos. Barcelos' chin is a problem. I mean, he got hurt so many times. I think this is a fight that Talbot can finish, and I think he will finish. And there's a reason the odds are what they are. And that reminds me, I do want to check what the line is on the finish. Under 1.5 plus. Yeah, I'm betting. I'm under spamming there. Under 1.5. I think Talbot finishes this fight in round 1. I do. I know he only has one round 1 finish, and that was against Gamorrean, and this is a big step up. But Barcelos' chin is a problem. We saw that fight against Umar. Oh my God! Talk about button knockouts.
Yeah, that was the one. That was
weird as fuck. Lost to Kyler Phillips. Whatever. We don't got to talk about that. Yeah, I think Talbot finishes him in round 1. I do. I think he gets a finisher.
Hey man, I'm because this is a big step up from Yanis Gamorri to fucking Raoni Barcelos. But listen, I mean, you just hit it on the head. That Umar knockout on Raoni is because he hit the button. He hit the fucking button and he put him to sleep. And I mean, Talbot, like it's pretty like rare that he doesn't find you on the button. Like he is so accurate that I think over the course of 3 rounds, let alone 2 rounds, like you said, under 1.5, I could see it. Under 2 rounds, I can see it. But damn, I like him to finish this fight because Raoni is somebody that, I mean, he's gonna embrace the war. He's gonna embrace the violence. Like I love him for that. But at this point in his career, I mean, he's older. 37 years old, about to turn 38. Peyton Talbot, after what he just did, he's got all the confidence in the world. And man, that striking is just different. It's very, very different because he is so patient and so sharp. And I think he's going to find the target here and put Raoni to sleep, whether it's round 1, 2, 3, I don't know. But I think Peyton Talbot in the distance. I like it.
Yeah, I agree. I think this guy is a serious, serious problem. And I'm interested to see where he goes after this. I really am. Yeah, I think this is a great stylistic matchup for him, although it's a massive step up in competition. Although, I think that fight against fucking Simon was supposed to be a tough challenge for him as well, and he ran through him.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like he's exceeded expectations, So yeah, I think he continues on that path.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, let's move on. Next fight on the card, Kevin Holland versus Reinier de Ridder. Yeah. I'll give it to the people on the stream right now. A money line bet of mine this week in a fighter that I'm very confident in, and that I'm very confident to get a finish is Reinier de Ridder. He kind of reminds me of Duplessis, as he's so sloppy, but he just gets it done. I think this is an amazing stylistic matchup for him, an amazing one, because Kevin Holland, every time he fights at 185, he cannot fucking defend a takedown for his life, and he looks like a fish out of water on the ground. I mean, I think this is an absolute mauling. I mean, I think de Ridder is just going to take him down and maul him and probably find a submission. Speaking of, I wonder what the line is on the sub. I haven't even looked at that. That is, plus 300. Like, give me that. I'm betting that as well. I think, I mean, de Ridder did what seemed like was the impossible and subbed. No.
Sorry.
Helicopter above me. My bad. I was like, what is going on? De Ridder did what seemed like was impossible and subbed Meerschaert in round 3, which is what Meerschaert's mythically known for. I think this is a problem fight for. I mean, Holland was getting mauled by Dolidze. De Ridder is better grappler wrestler than Dolidze. I mean, 185 is a horrible decision for Holland. I wish he would stay at 170. I don't know why he's doing this. I think de Ridder's going to run through him. This line makes no sense to me at all. You're muted.
I can't pick Kevin Holland, unfortunately, because you just can never pick Kevin Holland because you never know what he's going to do. But ultimately, I mean, I think he's going into like watching the embedded and stuff. I feel like he's in a good, headspace. And I mean, he looks like he's training hard for this and he knows what to expect. But again, like he just loses every, mental facility that he has. When he steps in there, he just fucking just goes into hyperdrive, auto drive, and he just does random stuff. And I think that ultimately, if he's not going to, I mean, he can't defend the takedowns. I mean, we've seen this in 3 straight losses now. I mean, he's getting taken down and held down. And I think that ultimately Reinier de Ridder is too big and too strong for Kevin Holland. I would love to see a Kevin Holland knockout, but I just think, again, why is he fluctuating? He goes up and down in the weight class. And I think the odds of him knocking somebody out do go up exponentially when he's at 170. But then when he's facing these guys at 185 that are, built for the division, like a Reinier de Ridder, I mean, it's just like I don't really know if he has the strength to knock somebody out or to catch him like that. And then, of course, Kevin Holland has the jiu-jitsu to be able to throw up a submission or something on Rainier de Ridder. But I don't know if he's going to be able to, if he's going to be presented that opportunity, or if he's going to take advantage. So ultimately, I'm going to pick Rainier de Ridder. I think I said that like 5 times now, but Rainier de Ridder, I think it is a good stylistic matchup. The line is very, very interesting. Just because Kevin Holland's trajectory, I mean, he's came out and said that he's a prize fighter at this point. He's lost 3 of his last 4. Rainier's won, 2 of his last 3. So I don't know. I think the stars are aligning for Rainier de Ridder, so I'm gonna pick him.
Yeah, I agree. It's a big bet of mine. I haven't placed it yet, actually, but yeah, it's something that I'm gonna do probably as soon as this ends. Yeah, I love Rainier in this spot. I think that's a great matchup for him. All right, let's move on. Next fight on the card, we've got Benny Dariush versus Renato Moicano. You want to go first on this one?
Yeah, this is a freaking interesting fight. And listen, I ultimately it comes down to what I just said in the last one with Rainier de Ridder and Kevin Holland. I think it's a pretty good trend to follow, and when you're talking about UFC bets, or picking UFC fights, but it's just which one has the more momentum. And right now, I mean, Beneil Dariush, I like Beneil Dariush. I love what he's done in his career. He had an interesting UFC career where he, almost got to the title, but I don't think he's ever going to really get back there. Now he's coming off of 2 straight L's. Nothing to be really ashamed of in losing to Charles and Armand, but just the way he lost, kind of getting dominated like that, back-to-back finishes. And then the way Renato's moving, I'm not going to abandon Beneil Dariush because I respect what he's done, and I respect his power. I do think that he has a chance to knock out Renato Moicano in this fight. I do. I think that Renato, the way he fights, and he's oozing with confidence right now, so he could definitely be a little more cavalier in there, think he's the guy, and then just 1 second, one slip up, Beneil Dariush catches him. But ultimately, I think Beneil Dariush is on a bad trajectory right now, and Renato Moicano is going the other way. I mean, this guy just came off of 2. I mean, actually, no, 4 damn near. No, 3. He just beat Benoit Saint-Denis, which is the one that I personally thought Benoit Saint-Denis was going to kill him. I thought that was a step, too far. I thought, okay, he's got momentum. He beat Jalen Turner, beat Drew Dober, beat Brad Riddell. I mean, 3 wins, great wins in a row. But Benoit Saint-Denis is where the line is drawn. But man, he came out there and whooped his ass, and I just did not expect that. The way he was striking, and he's always been a good striker. I just think that he's going to outstrike Beneil Dariush here. I do respect his power, but I think Renato Moicano, not only does he have the striking and the speed, probably the speed advantage, but his jiu-jitsu is obviously, miles ahead of Beneil Dariush. So if the fight does hit the ground, I trust him to do the better work to maybe find a finish. But ultimately, if he's safe enough and doesn't get caught by a big shot, I like Renato Moicano in this spot. I think it's a good stylistic matchup. Beneil's just not had a nice time recently, so yeah.
So you're going Renato.
I'm going Renato. I'm not the most confident, but I do think it's a good spot, so I'm gonna pick him.
I'm going the underdog. I like Dariush here. I know he's fucking ancient, and I know his chin's probably gone, but is his chin going to be a problem here? No. I think Dariush is the better grappler. I do. I think he's the better striker. I don't know how. I mean, unless Dariush just looks completely ancient in this fight, I think this is a fight for that Dariush can win. I mean, I don't see how. I think this is a great matchup for him. Honestly, this line makes no sense. Dariush in his prime would be a big favorite in this fight. But just because he got knocked out back to back by a guy in Tsarukyan who has some power, I guess, and then got knocked out by what's his fucking name? I'm blanking. Oliveira. I mean, does that mean Moicano's going to come out here and knock him out? I don't think so. I think Dariush is an amazing grappler, better grappler than Moicano. And I think that, I don't know. I just think this line doesn't make sense at all. I don't know, man. Maybe he's ancient, maybe he's not. But at the same time, these guys are the same fucking age. They're both 35. Beneil's older than him by a month. This is an auto bet for me because 2 years ago, I'm putting my fucking house on Beneil Dariush at this line. I don't get the line. He could go out there look ancient, but I like Dariush, underdog. Again, yeah, I'm a betting man, and I'm taking him not only I'm not only betting on him, but I'm taking him to win this fight, and I'm taking him to win a clear decision. I mean, it was just like a year and a half ago where he fucking
I just think, bro, in that year and a half, finish what
I'm saying. It was only a year and a half ago where he destroyed Mateusz.
But you keep going back. Like, we're not a year and a half, 2 years ago. Like, why are you talking about a year and a half, 2 years ago when what has
got knocked out by two? He got
knocked out. What has transpired since on the other side as Renato's beat? I mean, he's been on an insane run.
Okay, is Moicano the level of fucking Oliveira and Tsarukyan?
Did you think he would beat Benoit Saint-Denis? Be honest.
No, I bet on Saint-Denis.
Exactly. And he whooped his ass. He whooped his ass.
I was just wrong about Saint-Denis. Saint-Denis looked.
No, I think we were wrong about Renato Moicano as well. I think he looked really good on the feet in that fight. And the way Beneil is, I mean, just the questions about his chin, and I don't think he's a great striker. He's not really beat anybody that's a great striker. He has good power, and when he throws that overhand, it's a big problem. But he's not somebody that is kicking you. You don't have to worry about his kicks. He's not long. He just boxes, and he's a decent boxer, but he's not I don't think he's a better striker than Moicano. I will say his wrestling and jiu-jitsu is underrated.
What did you just say? What? Oh my God, Rohan. Fucking Benoit Saint-Denis was on the verge of death when that round 2 started. And he was beating Moicano in the striking, on the verge of literally dying.
But what happened in the first round? He whooped his ass.
On the verge of fucking dying. And he was beating him up, not beating him up, but he was winning on the feet. Dariush is a much better striker than Moicano. It's just, does Moicano have that one-shot power to knock out a guy that's chin is maybe gone? I don't think so, personally, which is why I'm taking Dariush. I think Dariush is better everywhere. I think that this entire 4-fight winning streak, outside of that BSD win, was a great win. Don't get me wrong. I mean, these, like, he beat Riddell, right? Riddell is a fish out of fucking water. He beat Dober in a fight in which he looked horrible on the feet and just took down Dober, has no takedown defense, and held him there. He beat Jalen Turner, in which he was getting demolished in round 1. Turner thought he had a knockout and then gassed out, gave up on himself. And then he beat.
But he's pulling through the fire in each of these instances. Beneil Dariush is just going the wrong way right now. I think
he lost to 2 incredible fighters.
But what incredible fighter did he beat?
Mateusz Gamrot's very good. Better than
That's
any of the
best win. That's his best win, and it was a decision. Tony Ferguson was washed as fuck. Diego Ferreira's old, and since then he hasn't beat shit.
What's Moicano's best win? What are you talking about?
I mean, he's just coming up with 2 good ones.
Gamrot would demolish BSD.
Bro, Moicano's been around for a while, and they're the same age, but I feel like in UFC years, Renato might even be like he's, I don't know, maybe a little older in UFC years. And the fact that he's doing this right now and hitting his stride this late into his UFC career, I have confidence in him to beat somebody that's right now just lagging, and right now just I feel like is hitting.
Just because he lost to fucking Oliveira and Tsarukyan doesn't mean he's lacking. Like, these are 2 incredible fighters, 2 fighters in the top 3 in the division. That means
I acknowledge that right off the bat. That was the first thing I said about him, is that you can't hold those losses against him. So I see that. But at the same time, he got fucking obliterated. And Renato Moicano has been through the fire. Like you're saying, he's getting hurt in all these fights at the same age and then pulling through and beating their ass in the end. So I like him to win this fight. But we can move on from this. This is too much.
I don't think it's too much. I think it's a great conversation, but I'm going the other way.
No, it's good. But I got to go soon. I'm saying.
Sorry, forgot about that. My bad. Okay, we got 3 fights left. How much time do you have? So I don't want to rush this.
I got like 10, 15 minutes, so we got to kind of go.
15 minutes, we're good. Okay, next fight. Jiri Prochazka versus Jamal Hill. This is a really, really tough fight for me to call. But I think Jiri should get it done. The problem with this fight, I like looking back on that Rakic fight, right? Both these guys lost to Pereira. It sucks, right? They both lost to Pereira. Outside of that, they look incredible. Here's the thing. That Rakic fight is what I look at for Jiri, right? He was getting fucked up in the first round, then he comes back and demolishes Rakic. Here's the thing about Jamal Hill. There's a positive and there's a negative when we're looking at that Rakic fight with Jiri. The reason Jiri was losing that round 1 is that he can't fucking defend a calf kick to fucking save his life, right? Jamal doesn't throw calf kicks, but at the same time, Jamal Hill's not going to give up on himself and like Alexander Rakic did. Jamal Hill is fucking tough as nails. Let's not forget that. Just because he got viciously knocked out by the pound-for-pound hardest hitting fighter ever doesn't mean that he is not tough as fucking nails. You remember that Paul Craig fight? He was caught in a fucking arm bar. His arm was wiggling around, and he was still fucking fighting. I mean, this guy is tough as nails, and he's not going to quit on himself. But what I think it comes down to is this is how the fight plays out. I mean, if Jamal Hill doesn't get that knockout in round 1, he's not winning the fight. Simple as that. So I think a way to bet on this fight is you take Jiri money line, which is what I did, because I think as long as he survives round 1, he wins. But you hedge it with Jamal round 1 knockout, which you can get at Hill knockout plus 190. Hill in round 1 is by knockouts plus 600. Like that's an easy way to bet this fight in my eyes. Hill's path to victory, round 1 knockout. Outside of that, Prohaska wins anywhere else. And what I think is live here actually is Jiri's submission. I think if the later this fight goes, I think you could see fucking Jiri catch this dude in like a rear naked choke like he did to Teixeira. I really do. And now that I think about that, what's the line on that? It's probably fucking insane. It's plus 1,800. That's a sprinkle for me as well. That's how I bet on this fight. I think this is a fight that you can make money on very easily. I just gave you guys the sauce. You're welcome. What do you have, though?
No, that was a great breakdown. I think that, I could definitely see like a club and sub situation, because I don't think Jiri's going to really look to grapple much, and he never does, obviously. But I think that I could definitely see him hurting Jamal, dropping him, getting onto the back and subbing him. That's a good little sprinkle bet there. And then, I think that ultimately somebody's getting served in this fight. Somebody's going to get finished. This is not going the distance. So I just think based on the fact that from what I've seen from both of these guys, and again, they've had a lot of wars. Each of them have had a lot of wars. They both went to war with a fucking 40-year-old Glover. Jamal looked a little better, but it was a little later. So I'll say, look, Jiri Prohaska in my eyes has more ways to win this fight. And that's what it comes down to. I trust, like you said, Jamal Hill's knockout power is his biggest weapon, and his boxing is his bread and butter, but it's pretty simple boxing. It's pretty, standard 1-2 down the pipe, maybe an uppercut here and there, but he doesn't really do much outside of that. He doesn't kick at all. He doesn't look to wrestle really all that much. He's got good defensive wrestling, but he's looking to just throw bombs and take your head off with simple shots. But Jiri, I feel like he's so unpredictable sometimes. Obviously, his striking defense is non-existent. He blocks punches with his head, and that has to scare you in any Jiri fight, because he's going in there defenseless almost. But at the same time, he's able to just do enough to evade some of those big shots until you face somebody like an Alex Pereira, so we can disclose that. But again, you brought up the Rakic fight, the way he was just able to stay right out of the way of getting caught and knocked out, and then ultimately it's that one shot that catches you and puts you out. And I just think that that's on the table. Him to submit him is on the table. A whole bunch of stuff is on the table for Jiri. So I like his money line as well. I would be pretty surprised if Jamal won this, honestly, because I trust Jiri in wars, and I think that unless it's Pereira who's the daddy of this division, then Jiri's the other alpha. So I'm gonna pick him.
Fair. Jamal's winning, says Darius. Yeah, he has a path. Round 1 knockout. Outside of that, I think it's Jiri all day. All right, let's move on. Co-main event. We've got. Bro, Jesus Christ. All right, next fight we got Merab versus Umar. Look, here's the thing with this fight, guys. I think Umar wins. Is the line off? Is he way too big of a favorite? Yes, but no. You've got a fucking champ coming in here who's been very dominant, who has looked incredible defending his belt. But at the same time, where's the path to victory for Merab? I just don't know. I feel like Umar's the far better grappler. Yeah, Merab's got the pace and the pressure, but outside of that, Umar's the better striker, better grappler. I don't think he has cardio problems. I guess we'll find out. I like Umar, man. I like Umar to get it done. I think, and I think he gets a finish. I do think he finishes him. Merab, I don't think he's the best durability. Bad chin. We saw him get fucking teeped to the body by O'Malley and got hurt. Umar has, I guess, some power when he fucking viciously sparked Ione Barcelos. I think Umar is just better everywhere outside. I don't think his cardio. What it comes down to is, does Umar have bad cardio? Will Merab's pace and pressure be a problem? I don't think so. I think Umar, again, as I mentioned earlier when talking about Tagir, these Dagestanis, man, they train so fucking hard. And I'm not using that as a reason to pick Umar. I just think not only is he better everywhere, but I don't think the pace and pressure will be a real issue for Umar here. I get the line. I don't, but I do. I think they're both very skilled. It's just the path to victory. That's what I think about when betting, and I just don't see one here for Merab. I like Umar to win this fight, and I'll say he gets a finish. I don't know if it'll be a sub or a TKO or a knockout, but I'm going to say Umar by finish. What do you got?
Yeah, I guess the line is somewhat off because of who Marab's beat, the run he's been on. I mean, how dominant he's looked, all of that. But Umar to be just kind of thrown into the fire against Corey Sandhagen and to pass the test like that, it's just it opens your eyes and it makes you think because this guy, obviously, I feel like the last name definitely adds a bit to that line being the way it is, but he's I mean he backs it up, man, and he's looked really really dominant in all of his wins as well, and it's the obviously the versatility that sets him a little bit over the edge. The striking is very, very good. He's light on his feet. He's got this like karate style, bladed. He uses every weapon of his. I love his body work. His kicks to the body, his teeps, like you mentioned, the leg kicks, his ability to fight moving backwards. That's an underrated aspect of his. So when Merab is charging, if he just drops his hand and Umar is able to keep his composure, I could definitely see him catching him with something. There's all these things about Umar. The one thing that you mentioned, and this is the biggest question mark, is where is his cardio? Because he hasn't faced anybody. And it's not just, this is the thing, Lucas, why the line is a little bit off, is because this is not just a typical cardio demon. This is somebody that he brings you to the deepest part of the waters and he will drown you if you're not ready. Like, because it's just an onslaught just of takedown attempts that you can't really prepare for because it's just one after the other after the other. And I think Umar has actually come out and said, like, I know I'm going to get taken down in this fight. Like, we know what he's going to do. I know I'm going to have to get back up. He's fully expecting this to be a long fight, a dragged out fight where his grappling is tested, his striking is tested. And I think in that, like, Merab, his cardio is and his pressure is so overwhelming that he could definitely take Umar to like even if he loses the first couple rounds, because I do think Umar is going to have success early. Even if he loses the first 2.5 rounds, he can win that fourth and fifth round just by dragging this dude and holding him. And again, why I'm picking Umar is because Merab, I don't trust him to finish the fight. Even if he does hold him down and does all that, he's not going to knock him out and he's not going to submit him. Umar has the ability to knock him out, and he has the ability to catch him in some off submission, I think. But ultimately, we are going to learn a lot about Umar because we don't know where his cardio is, and Merab is the biggest cardio test. So I'm excited for this one, man. And I do think the line is a little off just based off of what Merab has done. But Umar is going to be my pick as well. He's just too fucking good. He's just too good.
Yeah, I agree. Couldn't have said it any better. Let's move on. Main event of the evening, Islam Makhachev taking on Arman Tsarukyan. This is a somewhat simple fight to break down. I feel like the minute winner here is going to be Islam. I think he's got the better boxing. I think he's got the better wrestling, better grappling. But, man, I'm worried about the chin of Islam. I think there is a real chance Arman can catch him and put him to sleep. We saw that Arman has some power when he knocked out Benny Dariush. We also saw Islam get dropped like 19 times by Alexander Volkanovski at featherweight. I think if Arman connects on Makhachev, he's going to be in deep, deep, deep shit. But will he? I don't know. Islam's got some solid range with the boxing. I don't know. Again, that's really all I have to say. The minute winner here is Islam. But if Arman finds that chin, we may be seeing a new champion. But I'll let you talk about this one. I want to hear what you have to say.
I mean, just watching the first fight back again, it was so close. And it was so close because the wrestling was kind of even in that for a lot of the exchanges, not all the way because obviously Islam's superiority shined at the end. But man, for a lot of those exchanges, Arman was reversing him, getting to his back and holding his back for a few seconds before Islam had to fight out of it. And so many scrambles, so many different just wild exchanges in that fight. I think it's going to be very similar because both of these guys are so well-rounded. I mean, Islam's vastly improved striker. He just knocked out Volkanovski. I mean, we know this guy. But Arman, too, he's an improved boxer. I think he is the worst striker of the two, but still can again, the power is on his side, and he's got clean boxing and good enough entries to be able to get inside and land a big shot to put this guy's lights out. But Islam has eaten a lot of big shots recently. I mean, he went to war with Dustin Poirier. He went to war with Volkanovski twice. I guess once. And he obviously dominated Charles Oliveira. So I just think this guy is so proven at this point. He's faced so many different styles, and his style has prevailed because he is just the best at everything. He's the best wrestler. And I think in this, he could arguably want to be one of the best strikers in the UFC, right? So he's at the top of the mountain. I do think that Arman has the ability to make this a real close fight. But I just, in that 5th round, we've seen Islam's cardio. We've seen everything, man. He's got it all. Habib in his corner. Coach Habib, I can never pick against. I love Arman, and I think just him being 25, like he could be the champion in 2 years, 3 years. But right now, this is Islam's time. So I'm gonna stick with him, and I think he gets it done. And still,
yeah, it's a tough fight for me to predict outright because I really do feel like Arman can get on the inside and find the chin. But yeah, I guess I'll side with you. At first, I was actually like about 3-4 weeks ago, I was just picking Arman outright to knock him out. But I don't know. The more I think about it, I mean, I just feel like Islam's just overall better. And will he get caught? I just don't know. So for now, I'm going to side with you, Islam. But don't be surprised if Arman finds the chin and gets a knockout. And I do feel like this line is kind of nuts. Because
both of the lines are crazy. They're crazy. There's value on Arman for sure, like just to finish or anything. I mean, that's crazy.
I do feel like there is a path for Arman. So I do feel like that line is kind of nuts. But, yeah, that's all I really got to say. And I think that's it. That's all we got for you guys today. There's a stream. If you're just tuning in, you can always go back and see what we have to say about the other fights. But Rohan, any final words for the people?
Hey man, obviously me being out here, I'm gonna miss it, but hey, this is gonna be one of the best cards of the year. I'm so excited. I hope you guys all enjoy. Obviously, be on the lookout for more content throughout the rest of the week. Up until Saturday, we'll be dropping some shorts and such. But yeah, man, enjoy. Yeah, I'm gonna see you on the other side. We'll do some live streams and that fight night, all that. So it'll be fun.
If you guys want to check out our Instagram or our TikTok where we post our short videos, all you got to do is click the link below this video. You can find everything Counterpunch. Also, if you want to join our betting Discord, we make a lot of money there. So go tune in. But for now, that's all we got. It's been Lucas and Rohan. My outro music. Where the fuck is it? Jesus Christ. I do this every time, don't I? No, this isn't it.
Hey.
That's all we got. Thank you very much, people. Hope you enjoyed. Signing off. It's been Lucas and Rohan.
Peace.